such a silenced issue. It's an incredibly female experience. 54% of people this year have came forward and said that they had experienced it or someone they knew had, and that's just massive. So it needs to be spoken about, and I'm really hopeful that this might help.
My daughter came into this world. For the time that she did. And I can't bring her back.
Do you think the movie is so intense because it works on a personal and an universal matter at the same time?
I think so, because obviously it's specifically about a mother losing her baby, which is so rarely spoken about. So I'm really proud that this film adds to the conversation around that. But also it's kind of mostly about a human journey of intense, deep grief. It can feel so isolating and lonely because you have to navigate it every day, just getting through the days to try and reconfigure your life that's now totally different.
Oh, that's a good point. I think that's true. And as Vanessa has said, that when she was studying before, doing research, she found that women who had that experience didn't feel comfortable talking about it. I'm sure there's a profound sadness that doesn't make it easy to talk about, but there's also a lot of other feelings. Some women have feelings of shame, like they did something wrong, that they weren't up to the task, and that Vanessa felt that she hoped that people could talk about their experience more after seeing the film. If we contributed to that, that would be a very good thing.
60 to 70% of these cases, we rarely find a satisfactory explanation.
There is something between us.
Certain things medically we just don't have answers for.
To dream of.
Very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I can't wake without you always.
Your script has a very personal traits that affect any woman. So how did you, along with Cornell's, create such an internal and powerful atmosphere? Because the plot is very personal and universal at the same time.
Yeah, so I was invited to a theater to write a new play, and I had some notes in my notebook, which Cornell found, and he encouraged me really to deal with the topic deeper. I was a little bit afraid of going there because we share an experience of a miscarriage, which is very far from what you see in a movie, but at the same time, it's somehow connected. I think we kind of didn't talk about it as a couple. So when he told me to deal with this material, when he read the dialogue I wrote, I was not sure if I really want to go there. But once I started it, it felt like a therapy, and I felt like the strong urge to do this. And then later on, I think we could also break our silence on it. And then we can now share this story with many others.
Would you say that you learned something new from these characters, from these stories, whether about life, about bad relationships, about motherhood?
What was very important for me, that when I read first time, what was shocking is that was as much about life than about loss. That was as much about love as well than pain. And that was really a new perspective,
Why are you trying to disappear my kid?
Because we don't have a kid.
This film has some powerful scenes, like the opening sequence and the scene of the fight between mother and daughter. So how was the preparation process for these scenes?
I knew that I had to understand everything I could about labor. I haven't given birth myself, and I felt like the hugest responsibility because so many people have done it, and I didn't want to let them down. And I also knew how rare it was to have a full birth uninterrupted on screen. That felt really important. So I just did as much research as I could, and I had this incredible day where a woman allowed me to be there with her, which was just one of the best, like most profound moments of my life. Watching her do that for 7 hours.
Well, we rehearsed before we started shooting for 4 days at my apartment in New York. Before they left for Montreal, I didn't go right away at the top. And we got to know each other. I invited her to spend the night. She did, and I cooked her dinner and I cooked her breakfast in the morning. And I found out who she is, what kind of a person my daughter is in this case. And I was able to develop a sincere maternal feeling toward her. And I know that she had the appropriate feeling towards me. So we've remained friends even after the shooting. We text each other a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a rare thing that hasn't happened to many times in my career. There are a couple of other actors I've stayed close with, but she and I have a really rare relationship now. You have to face this.
I am facing this. I am facing it. I am facing this.
After your victory at the Venice Festival, congratulations, by the way, well deserved. How are your expectations for the award season, if you have any?
No, I can't have any. But Venice, I never expected it either. I don't know. I think the message of the movie and the women that it's for and the families that have been through it always felt like the most important part of it in a way. I still feel completely like that now. And you know, there's specific women that sat down with me and shared their stories, even though they'd never met me before. And every day of filming, it always felt like it was for them, because it's such a silenced issue. You know, it's an incredibly female experience. 54% of people this year have came forward and said that they had experienced it or someone they knew had, and that's just massive. So it needs to be spoken about, and I'm really hopeful that this might help.
Who cares about what they think? This is about me. This is about my life. This is me.